Hello and welcome to the final episode of Unmatched Advanced Fundamentals. This time we will be talking about how to improve your mentality and how to keep improving at the game. While this is the final episode in the series, I will continue making unmatched YouTube content. However, it will be based on different topics, mainly still pertaining to competitive play. When the lambs are lost in the mountains, they cry. Sometimes comes the mother, sometimes the wolf. This amazing quote is paraphrased from Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, a great but terrible book I cannot easily recommend to people. One thing you have to understand is that Unmatched is a community-driven game. Each of us should strive to be the mother and not the wolf. To improve at the game also means to be part of the game and its community. So focusing on your mentality and focusing on your skill at the game is often one and the same, or even if not, it is interconnected. So let's first talk about what not to focus on. Do not focus on your deck order. Unmatched is a game that has a luck factor to it. Make no mistake, every card game has a luck factor to it. However, that is something you cannot control. Also, do not focus on matchup percentages, and I'm not talking about while drafting, I'm talking about in-game. If you're playing a terrible matchup, that doesn't mean it's necessarily unwinnable, and it definitely doesn't mean you shouldn't try to win it. You always should. Do not focus on being a bad player, no matter how you structure what a good or a bad player is in your head. You can always improve. You should focus on improving, but do not beat yourself up over it. Do not think about the same misplay for years, for weeks, for months, whatever, because it won't help you. Find what you could have done better at all times. Make sure you correct your mistakes, make sure you improve, but don't focus on the negativity. Do not beat yourself up over the game. And finally, do not focus on the drama. While I myself am an exceptionally disagreeable person and I enjoy arguing, that doesn't mean we should make things personal. We shouldn't. It's a game. We should enjoy it. If you don't like arguing about theory crafting and matchups and so on, just avoid that. And if you do enjoy it, like myself, for example, try and keep it at a reasonable level. Really, we should all strive to keep our disagreements very civil and very controlled. Every match is its own thing. Always play to the best of your current abilities. Always focus on being good. Focus on the game that's in front of you. People especially tend to tilt when they're playing a best of three and then they lose game one, or if they think they've lost draft, and then they start throwing games that they should be winning realistically. So keep a neutral mindset. Don't even get too positive as well, because you can be like, oh yeah, I won draft, I'll win the match, and then you don't try hard enough, and then you just lose the one game. So just focus on the game you're playing instead. And while on the topic of what you should be focusing on, focus on your mistakes in a positive manner. So focus on improving from your mistakes. Focus on learning. Focus not on percentages, but on matchup nuance. Focus on key interactions. Focus on what you can do. For example, there was one quite important match that I won, and one of my games was Daredevil against the Raptors. Now, that's quite Raptor favored, but I knew that if I were to win it as Daredevil, I have to nuke one of the Raptors as soon as possible to reduce their potential damage. So I played towards that, and with good execution and a good deck order, it managed to happen. Now, if I played that like 10 times, maybe it would only happen twice or 3 times. But the important thing is I found the opportunity and I played towards a position where I could get lucky, and then I got lucky. Because if you just don't focus on anything, if you just lose difficult matchups just because they're difficult, and if you lose easy matchups because you didn't even bother focusing and trying, you will lose most of your games. Instead, always focus on key interactions, keep in mind the advanced fundamentals we talked about earlier in the series, and apply it to every game you're playing. Focus on the fact that you're an improving player, and everyone is an improving player, all right? Focus on the fact that you still have room to grow and that you can grow. You just have to be patient with yourself. And finally, focus on good relations. Community building, making friends, having testing partners, all of these things will help you grow on a personal level, not just on an interpersonal connection level. Now, when talking about the opponent, what is the opponent? Well, of course, you could say the opponent is the person who you're playing against, but let's deep dive into this. Let's go a bit more philosophical, all right? So it doesn't matter who the opponent is outside of the game. It doesn't matter if they're your real life enemy or your real life best friend or a family member. They are not that during the game, all right? During the game, they are simply an opponent. The opponent is simply a human person who you are trying to beat in a game of Unmatched. You should do your best against everyone and you should treat everyone equally. Do not be worried or nervous. Oh, my opponent is this person or that person. They're really good. And don't undervalue people's skill levels. Oh, this guy is bad. I'll easily win. Because you're doing not only them, you're doing yourself a disservice. Try to enter as many games as possible with a blank slate mentality and just play well and only apply your opponent's known play patterns in a way where you might be more inclined to predict how they will play instead of thinking about how they are as a person, what your relationship to them is. All of that doesn't matter within the scope of the game. And also, your opponent is neither all powerful nor always lucky. Your opponent is just a person trying to win the game who is sometimes lucky. On the topic of improving, I already said it is my firm belief that no one in Unmatched is perfect. Everyone can still improve. So the number one way to improve is just play the game. Play lots of Unmatched. Now you might not have a lot of time. You might be working two jobs and or have children and or maybe have a different hobby, whatever. So playing Unmatched might not be something you have as much time for as you want, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't play it. Just play as much as you can, all right? And cater your expectations towards something that is realistic. Keep realistic goals, which means if you only get to play, I don't know, 10 matches of Unmatched a month, you won't improve as much as you would if you were playing 10 matches a day, but that doesn't mean you won't improve. You just have to be reasonable and you have to expect to improve at a slower rate. So don't be discouraged if you cannot see the results immediately, and sometimes things just don't click for you. It took me so many games to start understanding how to play Jill Trent well, and then some other fighters I clicked with like this, like instantly. It's always a variable what will click with you and what will not. Have patience and be a friend to yourself. Give yourself room to breathe. Don't bully yourself over improving at the game, but also try and be honest to yourself and then recognize when you're doing things wrong and when you could be improving better and focus on those things and how to incorporate them. I keep talking about focus and focus on this and focus on that. So on the topic of focus, try to play with a purpose. Not all the time necessarily, but try and have general purpose. Okay, maybe I want to learn this matchup or that matchup, or maybe I want to master 5 fighters or 10 fighters, or maybe I have an upcoming tournament and then I think these 5, 6, 10, whatever fighters are going to be the most important picks in the tournament. I want to focus on learning them. So find your purpose while you're testing, while you're playing to learn to grow as a player, and then focus on that purpose. This includes, but is not limited to, testing specific matchups, focusing on your current fighter pool and expanding the fighter pool or the pool or roster of fighters you're comfortable playing, and try to focus on the meta picks, whether it be for a specific tournament or just good fighters in general. It's always fun to be the underdog, and I have nothing against learning to play weaker fighters like King Arthur, like Hamlet, and so on. They can be incredibly fun. They can be incredibly interesting in the way they're designed. However, if your unmatched dedicated playtime is very limited, my advice to you in a competitive mindset is to simply focus on the stronger fighters because you will be able to play them more often in tournaments, or you will play stronger picks on ladder and so on, and you will simply win more if you focus on learning better fighters and you'll be more comfortable picking them in tournaments, whereas you may only have a chance to pick weaker fighters every so often. So training with them, learning how to play them properly, how to master them, will not pay off nearly as much. While on the topic of spamming games, spam ladder It's being moved from Unmatched League to Tabletop League as I speak. I believe I am currently the player with the most ladder wins. I might be wrong, but that's not something that's a realistic goal for everyone right now. My first goal was first I wanted to reach Hero my first season of playing, and then I wanted to reach Legend, and then I wanted to win a ladder, which it took a few ladders for that to happen. And now every season I try to reach Legend just to keep in shape and to learn as many matchups as possible. And I often play to win the ladder. I think it's fun. I think it's a self-imposed challenge. But if you're very limited with your unmatched time, set a simpler goal. Like say, okay, I want to reach gold every season, for example, or I just want to play 20 ladder matches or whatever, or maybe I want to play every hero every season at least once. In this way, you will have a realistic expectation that you can fill out, but might still be slightly challenging. And you will have a fun and personalized way to keep spamming games, to keep yourself in good shape, let's call it that way, to keep your mind on the game. And I highly recommend it just because it's the fastest and easiest way to get your games in. If it were a sport, you'd have repetitions, you'd do your trainings every day, or if you're like less competitive at the sport, like at least every week, you can treat the ladder as the same way. Or if you don't enjoy ladder, if you're feeling pressured by the stars and whatnot, you can just spam casual games. Like go, say you're looking for a game, maybe testing specific fighters or help other people test their matchups, and get your repetitions in. Just keep playing the game. Keep realistic goals while playing it, and also look to play opponents who are better than yourself. A lot of my early unmatched learning experience was just always stalking the ladder and always trying to get games against Kiet in, and I would never win these games. I would always lose to Kiet. I'd go like 0-10, but every time I lost to him, I learned something new, or I figured out an interaction, or I figured out a matchup. The less experienced you are, the more you will learn. So use this to your advantage and try to fish out these strong, powerful opponents who will beat you, and especially ask them for their verbal or typed out input on what you could have done better and how you can improve. When you just begin your unmatched journey, you might not have anyone to play with, or maybe it's just your partner or a family member or just one or two friends, or like maybe you're just playing co-op or playing single player against Mothman or whatever. But maybe you want to try your hand out at being more competitive, and then maybe you find random people to play a few games online, and then you will start making these relationships, not necessarily even friendships, but you will find people you can reasonably often play with again and again. And these people can be considered a sort of testing group for you. And then as you get better with them, you can start to create an actual testing group where every day you can be like, yo, who's up for some unmatched? And then get your repetitions in, help them test their matchups, have them help you test your matchups, and so on. So you will start forming a testing group, or you may join an existing testing group. This is a very good way of improving at the game. Again, Unmatched is a game that has the healthiest community I've seen yet. So don't be afraid of human interaction. It is going to be positive. And also look to join a local league. For example, here in Croatia, we have local tournaments, especially here in Zagreb. We're also part of a larger online local regional actually league, which is called Unmatched Adria League, which contains Croatia, Serbia, Slovenia, Bosnia, even though they're a bit less populated with players there. So just join your local community, play IRL, play online, whatever. You don't have to join tournaments if you don't like that. You can just look for testing partners. And if you don't have a local league, look into starting one. I don't know, make a Facebook group, make an Instagram, whatever, and just try to get a few players together. It doesn't have to be anything serious. Like perfect is often the enemy of good. Make it work. You don't have to think about what format you'll play too much in the beginning. Just get some players going and get games going. And if you're unsure how to join or whether you have a local league or how to start one, go on Unmatched League, the Discord server, or go on Restoration Games Discord server or a Yellow Discord server if you're Europe based, and just ask around. I'm sure there's plenty of people who will gladly help you and inform you about their own journeys and how your journey could advance in the sense of starting or joining a league, and even way beyond just that. They will help you with so much. Like, believe me, the community is beautiful. And then make friends. As these people, as you reach out to people to ask them for guidance, for help, and so on, some of them will grow to like you, and you will grow to like some of them, and then friendships will form, and this will keep you in the game, and it will keep you invested and growing at the game because you will be more comfortable asking them to play with you. And if you already have a friend group who plays, don't be too closed about it. Okay, sure, maybe they're your IRL friends, and then that beats your online friends, but open up a bit. And then finally, if you are comfortable with playing in competitions, just look around to join a team league team. Team league is a competitive yet not overly competitive setting where you will learn a lot from a lot of people. You will help them test their matchups, they'll help you. You'll learn all about testing and growing at the game. And you'll often be tutored by way more experienced players in this environment. And while talking about being a team player and a positive experience, focus on your sportsmanship. It helps not only others, it also helps yourself. If you have some grudges, keep it outside the game. Don't focus on that. It's not the game's fault that you might not have clicked with someone. I'm generally a person who keeps their heart on their sleeve, but when I'm playing, I play close to my chest. I keep cards to myself. I stay poker faced. I don't overly celebrate my victories. I don't cry over my defeats or anything like that. But we all get frustrated when we lose. We get frustrated with ourselves, sometimes maybe with the opponent, especially if we consider that maybe they played very slowly or maybe they did something that we consider a bit sly, whatever. Even if you're tilted, and maybe you have a good reason to be tilted, try and give at least the bare minimum of sportsmanship. If you are the type of person who explodes easily and maybe it's just impossible for you to say good game and stuff because you are very tilted, okay, then like leave the game and then take a minute or two, maybe drink a glass of water, take a deep breath, and then send your opponent a private message where you say, hey, GG, sorry, I'm tilted, not your fault, or just say GG, or sorry I left, or whatever. Just make sure they know you don't take it personally and that you're not frustrated necessarily with them, but just the game or the outcome of the game. And this way you will help yourself maintain positive relationship. So always do your best, do your part in keeping the community positive, and I'm sure other people will reciprocate that. But also don't let past grudges or past losses get in the way of current possible wins. A bad mental makes you play worse. Keep this in mind at all times. If you're frustrated, if you're tilted, you're gonna make more mistakes. Don't do this to yourself. You're gonna be even more angry, and at the end of the day, when you turn off your PC or you leave the venue and the event is over, you're not gonna be angry with anyone else except for yourself. Long term, being angry with yourself doesn't help you. It hinders you because when you're angry with someone, you don't want to do what's good for them, you want to do what's bad for them. Keeping these things in mind may help you, quote unquote, hack your mental game. So always remember to focus on what helps you win the game, focusing on what's important for the game, focusing on winning, on playing as well as you can, and on the matchup. Focus on what's important for the game and not outside things. I have lost hundreds of games of Unmatched, and many of them were due to just luck or just unfortunate interactions, and many of them were due to me not being good enough to win them, or maybe just not recognizing a line that would have gotten me the win. And that's fine. That's all part of the game. If you could win every game, it wouldn't be interesting, now would it? Keep a mentality that's focused on growth and improvement and staying competitive yet healthy, and it will keep you more satisfied with the game and yourself. And now we are going to be exceptionally philosophical. Um, Remain humble in your victories, dignified in your defeats, and be honest with the results. Let's look towards religions and spiritualities for inspiration here for just 1 second. So when Jesus proclaims himself the Son of God, he does so without any arrogance and without downplaying it. Now, this might not seem important to people who are not Christian, but you can find a similar example in Buddhism when Siddhartha Gautama, the bodhisattva who was an enlightened being in Buddhism, upon his birth, took, I believe it was 7 steps in every cardinal direction, and then proclaimed that he throughout heaven and earth alone was the honored one. So even Buddhists say that a being who is perfect in its humbleness will have no problem on stating his qualities clearly and with dignity and without any downplaying, but also without any unnecessary arrogance. So be honest with yourself as much as you can. Recognize when you play well, is what I'm trying to say. Recognize when you improve, recognize when you're good at the game, but also remain humble. Recognize when you played poorly, when you were bad at the game, and when you had room to improve. Recognize when you were lucky, and recognize when your opponent was lucky. That doesn't mean rubbing it in anyone's face, being arrogant about it, or finding excuses. It means being honest with yourself, because this is the number one thing that will help you improve. The way you say things will build your reputation, and try to guard your reputation because it precedes you. There are many ways to open doors, but nothing opens doors as widely as kindness does. And now on to a slightly less terribly serious topic. You will get memed. People will meme on you. They'll meme on the fighters you play. They'll meme on your mistakes. Most of it is going to be lighthearted. And think of it that way. Expect it to be lighthearted. When people make jokes, they don't make jokes to mock you. At least in 90% of the cases, they make jokes because they think a fighter is funny, or they make jokes because they experienced the exact same situation that you did. So then they relate to you, and instead of being annoyed or angry with them, try to bite your tongue and then laugh with them. You'll enjoy your experience a lot more. And if you made a mistake, yeah, just own up to it. And this is where fair play really comes into play and where being kind comes into play. Winning many games is more important than winning one game. This is especially applicable to if anyone wants to cheat at the game or anything like this. Sure, it will help you win one game, but it won't help you keep your reputation. It won't help you keep winning games in the future. And winning one game but trading the rest of your unmatched career for it is never worth it. Now, for some testing tips, discover your weaknesses, then improve. So I've mentioned this multiple times by now. Just focus on where you can improve and then do it. And also focus on end goals and checkpoints. So focus on what's realistic and what isn't, and then make a list of things you want to learn, and then learn them, and the list will expand because opportunities, as Sun Tzu says, opportunities are multiplied as they are seized. So when you learn one new thing, you will find 10 new things that you can learn, and then you can go towards learning those, and then you will open up new opportunities. And then as you're learning these things, seek out experts, seek out masters of specific fighters, seek out people who have really deep map knowledge, and reach out to them. Ask them for help, ask them for tips and tricks, and you'll be surprised how much people are willing to help you and share with you. And then in the beginning, it is all going to be very chaotic and difficult, but everything is difficult at first. You will slowly create a harmony in your head. You will slowly start to bring order to how you perceive the game, and then you can create overarching plans of okay, I really want to get good results at this tournament, so then I have to learn these fighters, and then I have to this and that and this and that. And as you are learning, as you're getting better at Unmatched, you will start to be better at developing specific goals and plans, and then you will be able to cater your testing towards this. And then learn from others. When the lamb cries out, sure, sometimes it's going to be the wolf. Sometimes people are going to give you wrong advice. Usually not from any malicious standpoint. People can just have different experiences which might not align with how a matchup generally goes, or people may have only played a matchup once and then have a completely wrong idea of how it generally goes, or people might just be guessing and they might be guessing wrong, and sometimes maybe someone is just mean and then they feed you wrong advice because they think it's funny. Um, but just the same as you should strive to be the mother in the story, most people will want to do the same. Most people want to help you and help you improve, and most people don't want to waste their energy by doing bad things. So ask for help, ask for guidance, and through asking people for help, you will meet people who can become new trusted sources who you can come to again and again, asking for help and guidance. And usually, this is how you will form friendships throughout the game. And usually, the same people will try to help you over and over again. So just reach out, and someone will answer. And use outside tools to your advantage. There's Tabletop League, there's its precursor Unmatched League, there's Unmatched Club, which demonstrates map centers and win percentages, and a bunch of other stuff that's very useful. And then use Discord channels, ask people, ping people for playing, for help, for this and that. YouTube, there's content creators. I'm going to be making a lot of unmatched content that's very competitive focused, but there's other channels. For example, there's Montage, the streamer from Philippines. He makes beautiful content where he uploads consistent, like just gameplay matchups. You know, you learn to find players who have similar play styles to you, and then you can watch their matches, and then you can post questions of why they played something in a certain way, and then they'll answer, or maybe someone else will answer, and just learn from other people's mistakes and from other people's good gameplay, from your own, from others, and look up these sources. They have so much information you can learn, and there's only going to be even more outside resources. And sometimes you might find a content creator who you don't vibe with, who maybe you think is wrong for some things, and that doesn't mean they're not right for other things. For example, Karma has his tier list videos, which are amazing, and I often disagree with some of his takes, but I agree with like 80-90% of everything he says. So even if something doesn't vibe with you, you will find so much other stuff that will vibe with you, or maybe then you'll find that a certain content creator just isn't for you, and you'll find another one. That's all perfectly valid. Just go out there and look for information, and you'll be surprised how much you can find. This will be it for Unmatched Advanced Fundamentals. I hope I have helped you build fundamentals, and I have helped you create a plan on how to expand on those fundamentals. And I will be making more content. So if you enjoyed these, if you enjoyed the way that I speak, I present stuff, if you enjoy these pseudo philosophical ramblings I go into, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and you will help the channel grow, and you'll help me reach more people, and you'll help me stay focused on making the content. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the awesome support you guys have been giving me. And that's all for now. See ya and goodbye.